Good morning, everyone. We will start the session soon.
Rashmi, I think we can start.
Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to all the participants to the final day of our 5-day online workshop on food analysis and quality control FAQC 2025 organized by the Department of Food Process Engineering and NITRKL. It has been a wonderful learning journey over the past few days, filled with insightful sessions and interactive discussions. Today, as we step into the last day, we have two very interesting and important sessions lined up in the morning half. We are delighted to begin today's session with a talk on food labeling and compliance with the FSAI Codex regulations, an important topic that ensures transparency, safety, and global standardization in food sector by Dr. Vivek Kamabati. The next session will be handled by Dr. Arun Prasad Venugopal, focusing on rapid and non-destructive methods for food quality assessment, a modern approach to enhance precision and efficiency in quality control. Now, I welcome Dr. Vivek Kamabati. Sir, I would like to hand over the session to you. Sir, please.
Thank you, Rashmi. Thank you very much for your wonderful introduction. I'll share my slide. Is the slide visible, Rashmi?
Yes, sir, is visible.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Good morning, all the participants. Today is the last day of our 5-day workshop. So, for the first 4 days, we have learned some of the analytical methods, and then in the last class, in the second lecture, the quality management system was introduced, right? So from the yesterday's class, the quality management principles and the regulations, and then in the second half you will also learn quality control tools. Okay, some of the examples will be learning. So in this particular lecture, you will be getting insights about food labeling and compliance with the FSSAI, means in our country as well as internationally. If you are willing to go for import or export, then what are the differences in the regulations that we are going to cover. These are the learning objectives for our lecture. First, after completing this particular lecture, you will be able to understand the importance and purpose of food labeling, why food labeling is required, that you will be learning. Then you will identify the mandatory labeling requirements coming under the purview of FSSA, Food Safety Standard Authority of India. They are the regulatory body in our country. According to them, what are the different labeling requirements or mandatory, those things will be learning. And then you will learn about Codex Alimentarius. What is Codex Alimentarius, how it works, and how this particular regulatory body is working across the globe. So those things we will learn. Then will you will know the nutritional claims, front of packaging, FPL. Okay, FOPL, it is called as the front of packaging label, and compliance challenges. These four aspects you will be clear after completing this particular lecture, right? Before begin with, I would like to ask you people, labeling is essentially the resume for food product. Will you agree? Any one of you can answer. Will you agree that labeling is the resume for food product? Is it right? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Can you explain how? I would like to know from you people. Why do you think so? Why it is called as the resume of food product?
It will give complete information about the product.
Yes, very good. What about resume? Resume also gives a complete information about us, right? When you are applying for a job. So basically, why we do that one? Why it is essential to know about the product before purchasing? Any idea?
Sir, mainly the things that we need from the food, it is mentioned in the labels, so we can choose what type of things, proteins, nutrients, vitamins we need. So we can see, check in the labels.
Yes, yes, yes. That's right. Any other thing? Any other thing? Other participant? Any other thing? Why do we need labeling?
Sir, also the daily recommended things that we need.
Yes,
Uh,
RDA, daily recommended allowances. You can know from your label. You can know allergen information. You can know your ingredients, what type of ingredient, right? You can also know how much nutritional values are there in that particular. If you consume 10 grams of the product, how much nutritional value you'll get. So all these things are very much important when it comes to any processed food, right? Not only processed food, if you take any food items being sold in the market, it should have a proper labeling to get clear communication. It's all about the communication, right? You are, if I am giving my CV to anybody, okay, recruiters, what they will do, they will look in one page. You need to highlight what are the important things, right? Why they have to hire you. Similarly, for these brands, Cadbury, Nestle, or any other brands, they tell you why to purchase that particular brand, what is the specialty. Everything is available in the labeling. We are going to learn those things as well, right? So if you see in the labeling, both the things are equal, right? As I said, in the resume you have name, date of birth, experience, skills, qualification. Similarly, in the label, food label, you have name of the product, date of the manufacturing, not marking, manufacturing, and then a list of ingredients will be there, some claims will be there, and then a license number, FSSA license number will be there, where it is being produced, or so those kind of informations you can get from the label to decide. Basically, as a consumer, what I will do after reading a label, I can decide, right? It's a decision I am making whether to purchase that particular product or not. I will decide yes or no, purchase, go with this particular product or no, right? So this is, exactly, 95% is similar to the resume. So why food labeling is very much important? It gives us the consumer information. What do you mean by consumer information? You can get all the data. If you see what information can you get from food labeling, you can get date of marking, manufacturing, the name of the product you will get, net quantity, how much quantity, and then address of the manufacturer. If it is an importer or exporter, they will give their address, right? Then nutritional declaration, ingredient list, specific storage. Most of us, what we do, we are food technologists and we are related to food science, so we know that how to read the label, and based on the nutritional facts present on the label, we can take the decision. But what about normal people, right? Common people. Nowadays the awareness is being created, and people are aware about preservatives, people are aware about a lot of other additives are being added to the processed food. People are reading the labels, right? So but majority of the people, they are not reluctant in reading the labels. They just go by the brand. If they see Cadbury here, they will go, right? If they see Nestle, just they will purchase that product. What happened to the infant formula, this Cerelac? Some problems had happened. What happened to the big brand like Maggie, right? Definitely there will be something that we are missing, right? Those things, those in kind of information, we can directly or indirectly get from the labeling. Sometimes the small brands, even after mentioning that this is organic or this is good product, but their product produced inside the packaging may not be organic, right? So those information also we can get from their websites, or if you have any QR code or barcode here, you can scan. We'll discuss all those aspects in the little later slides, right? So the first one is consumer information. We'll get an information about the food product, right? All the kind of information we will get. Then it's a part of advertising. Okay, advertising means logo will be there, product image will be there, brand will be there. It's a part of advertising. Then it's a product identity. Product identity, if you suppose if I say you tell me the which brand you like among Lays. If I ask not Lays, among potato chips, what do you say? You say Lays, right? If I say noodles, you will say Maggie. If I say the chocolate, you will say Cadbury 5 star, or maybe the Kit Kat or whatever the big brand, Nestle, Cadbury, like that you will say, right? The brand will be associated. That is called as product identity. Okay. Directly or indirectly, this product identity will go to our mind. It will fix the brand image in our mind, right? These are the important aspects of why we need to read the label, or as a manufacturer, why we need to give a attractive label to the customer. Okay, why we need to decide attractive label? uh, because customers are they are aware of reading the labels. With time, these things will be increasing. So allergen information, all these things they want to know. That's why you need to inform each and every information on the label, right? Labeling means primary communication between food producer and consumer. In one word, if I would like to say this, it's a communication, right? It's communication. You are reading it. Okay, it's giving that the particular product is giving you some information, and it's communication is happening between the producer and the consumer, right? Then provides identity, safety, and nutritional information. As you say, you can you know somebody said Samiranjan sir said nutritional information, you know you can get all the nutritional information percentage daily value means RDA, recommended dietary allowances, right? That is absolutely correct. If you want to consume more fiber, okay, if suppose, for example, your diet is very, it has very poor fiber, then your doctor recommends you have to consume at least 40 grams of fiber per day. Then what you will do? How do you know? Without reading this particular label, okay, you will eat spinach, all these things are fine, but how much quantity of fiber you are consuming, you are unaware, right? If you have clear labeling like this, then you can roughly calculate, okay, I have consumed 20 grams of fiber today. Okay, similarly, if suppose people want to consume vitamin D, or doctor recommends you to take the supplement of iron. Okay, some products are rich in iron, right? So in that way you can guess how much amount of iron per day you are consuming, how much amount of the calcium, maybe calcium requirements are fulfilled or not. And then we need to correlate with per serving, not the entire 400 500 grams, right? Per serving, how much you are consuming. If you are consuming 100 grams, then all these parameters will be applicable. If you are considering 20 grams, then you need to calculate accordingly. Okay, 20 grams means this is for 100. For 20 grams, how much you will get? Accordingly, you need to calculate, right? Then it enables consumer choice and prevents deception, right? So these three things are important. Then the other important thing is triangle of trust. It creates, the package creates the triangle of trust. What is the triangle of trust here? It gives empathy. I trust that you care about me. Means if you read the particular product and it has a lot of iron, micronutrient profile, then you will think, okay, this this particular brand is considering this set of people, and then it gives logic, some kind of reasoning. Okay, 30 percentage RD allowances, or maybe uh, this particular allergen information is there. So these kind of things are possible. Authenticity. Authenticity is also very much how authentic the food manufacturer or food is, right? If it is being adulterated, or if it is mixed with some other brands, some of the oil companies, they give advertisements, right? Their advertisement says uh, you know uh, no additives added, no additives added, or maybe it's a pure coconut oil, pure groundnut oil. Some of the advertisements you can see on our television. Those things are, these people are, what they are doing indirectly, they are coming into triangle of trust. They are saying, or their product is authentic, they show empathy on the people, their products are logic, and they work with the logic, right? So these are the importance of food labeling. Legal requirements ensuring transparency. Transparency is very much important, helps consumer make informed decisions. Recall management. So how recall management? You can have the expiry date or date of manufacturing, what goes wrong, batch number will be there, right? Lot number will be there. So with those data, you can easily go with the recall, right? Builds brand credibility and market access. These are some of the basic components. As we already discussed, it has name, ingredient list, net quantity, manufacturing details, license number, FSSA license number, and then storage instruction. This is very much important. In some of the food packets, you can see store under 4 degrees, store under refrigeration. Once opened, store under the refrigerated conditions, right? So like that, you can have a basic information. So how that is linked with the FSSA labeling regulations? So FSSA, before directly going to the regulations, I will just introduce what is FSSA. FSSA introduced established in the year 2006. They are responsible for regulating the manufacturing, storage, distribution, sale, and import of food products, right? For food products, right? Then they framed food safety and standards with respect to packaging. They have this regulations in the year 2011. Okay, general label requirements according to as per 2000 FSSA 2011 regulations. These things are very much important. The symbol, veg, non-veg symbol is important. Nutritional facts are important. You need to give the license number, right? And then descending order of weights. This is very much important. List of ingredients. Sometimes you can see the list of ingredients. I will show you, but this list of ingredients will be in the descending order, whichever the nutrient or maybe the ingredient with highest proposition, it will be given first based on the weight. Okay, the second ingredient, the third ingredient, it will be given like that. Normally you can see all the preservatives are listed in the bottom because only ppm, very few very less quantity of preservatives are being added. I will show you here. You can see this is an example of you know some snack product. You can see information per 100 kg they have given, 100 gram I guess here. Okay, per serving 50 grams are recommended. How much calorie you are getting, and then how much protein is there accordingly. These are macronutrient, right? Protein, carbohydrate, sugar, fat. These are macronutrients. When it comes to sodium, potassium, micronutrients, right? This is also very much important. Those who have already they have cholesterol in their body, they don't want to consume through food, right? Even though from the food, if the food has cholesterol, that will not directly increase your cholesterol level, but still, after seeing this, some people, they think satisfied. Okay, I'm consuming less cholesterol product or whatever, right? Then ingredient, you can see here ingredient list, as I told you, in the descending order, decreasing order, it is given. 40% of puffed rice is there in this particular product. Then comes split grams 20%, groundnut 20%, flakes, and then tamarind powder 1%. As you see, it's decreasing. The proportion is decreasing, right? And then you see product contain nuts, nut allergy. Somebody is allergic to nut, then they can read this one. Okay, this positions are fixed, but 90%, if you see big brands, they follow the same pattern. Under the nutrition, they give ingredients. Okay, under that they give manufacturing, this one, some FSSA licensing they will give in the left side of the package. With the most of the times it follows the same specifications. Okay, and then you can clearly see the best before, how many days you can keep, right? If you scan this barcode, you can easily tell from which lot it has been procured, right? MRP, batch number, and date of manufacturing, all this information are very much important when it comes to FSSA. FSSA says this logo has to be on top, right? If it is a green color, then vegetarian. If it is a brown color, then it's a non-vegetarian product. Okay, ingredient declaration. See here in this example also, you can see enriched unbleached flour. This is the unbleached flour. It has wheat flour, malted barley. So all these things are in the descending order, right? It contains, some people are allergic to wheat. So for those people, we will get a clear information that you should not consume this product. May contain milk. People are allergic to milk, eggs, soya, or tree nuts. This is the allergen information that you need to consider. All ingredients listed in decreasing order by weight. Compound ingredients declared with breakdown, right? If some kind of wheat product or something is there, it has to be clearly stated. Then energy, protein, carbohydrate, sugar, fat, all these things are very much important. Optional items, optional, what you can consider is not mandatory to give vitamin and mineral information, but this information is very much important. If a company, they feel like giving, they can give, see here, calcium, iron, all these things they have given, but this is not a mandatory one. That's why it is given at the bottom, right? This is mandatory. Okay. Similarly, allergen declaration, you have gluten. Some symbols, icons are being used by many Western countries, this is called as the gluten. The product has gluten, sesame. These are some of the icons or logos used for different types of food item, peanuts. Okay, but it is mandatory for gluten allergic people, peanut allergy, peanut protein allergy, nut allergy, or milk allergy, fish allergy, soya, sesame allergy. These things are mandatory. Okay. Sometimes you can also see may contain traces of some, you know, this is also possible, right? You can see these things may contain traces. When you purchase any product, you definitely have to go through the label before purchasing. Date of marking or date of manufacturing, you can say, right? So you can see in different positions the date of manufacture, but it has to be clearly mentioned, right? It has to be clearly mentioned when it is being manufactured. See, here a lot of space is given. Why a lot of space is given around the manufacturing? See, here also a lot of space is there. You see, other products like this is very much congested, right? All the information is tightly packed. But when you see the data of manufacturing, to give the clear picture, transparency to the consumer, they can easily, first thing they notice is data of manufacturing, right? After that, they will go through different nutritional information. So this is the format given by FSSAI, and they should also specify the batch lot code for traceability. Batch number like this, they have to give. Okay, in case of some contamination, easily you can identify which batch number, which product is being for spoiled. Accordingly, that particular batch will be cancelled. Right. This it was before this vegetarian and non-vegetarian simple symbols was looking like this before, but they have changed it. They have changed it for non-vegetarian. The logo is looking like this. Nowadays, if you purchase any product, non-vegetarian product related or any kind of products, you can observe the change in the logo. Okay, clearly to see, right? Why? Because some people are colorblind, right? If they cannot see this particular green, and if they cannot distinguish green and red color, it will be difficult. Okay, in order to give some kind of clarity, after seeing immediately you can specify. No need to go through which color or what color, green color, brown color. By using symbol itself, you can easily tell. And this is mandatory. Brown dot in brown square for non-vegetarian. Additive declaration. Additive declaration. Additives we discussed in the third day of our workshop, right? You can see here what are the different types of additives. Now I would like to ask you people, I don't know how many of you remember, 100 to 200 E number belong to which category? Can anybody tell? Colors, right? Yes. What about 300 to 400?
Antioxidant.
Very good. Okay, nice. You remembered. Okay. See here, additive declaration, the class name plus specific name or INS number has to be given. Right here, if you are giving color, it is not a problem. If you are not giving color, also fine. But this number has to be given. E171. Either colors in bracket this number or E171. Okay, or INS. This 500, all are same. Some here thickeners, all other category, right? 1000. And food acid between 270, 200 to 300, right? And those things you can easily, antioxidant 300. And then here in this label you can see flavor enhancers are falling under 600 category, right? Two different kinds of flavor enhancers are used in the, this is what, noodles, instant noodles with seasoning. Okay. So preservatives, INS 211. If you see this particular one, this is called as the sodium benzoate, right? 211 normally used as preservative. Again, if majority of the people must have forgotten about these numbers, again to quickly go through and regain your knowledge, I have given this particular thing in this slide also. See, 100 to 199 colorants, 200 to 299 preservatives, 300 to 400 antioxidants, thickeners, emulsifiers fall under this category, acidity regulators fall under this category, and then flavor enhancers fall under 600 to 699. You can see here flavor enhancer 627, 631. Okay, in that way you can have a rough idea. You need not to know what is the item. Is it a sunset yellow or tartrazine or sodium benzoate or benzoic acid, whatever the specific, you need not to know about those things, but you can have a rough idea if you know these categories, right? 600 to 690, as a food technologist we need to know. If somebody says 600 to 699, okay, it's you should be able to recollect, okay, it's a flavor enhancer. Like that, you need to get some kind of information, right? Then country of origin information is very much important, right? So from where it is being produced. Why this information is very important? If suppose if there is any problem with that particular food material, okay, if it is traveling to different country during transportation, during shipment, if something goes wrong, maybe some kind of pathogens are growing, right? These diseases are different, and the kind of the emergence of these diseases or resistance of the people depending on the demographies, right? Whatever disease occur in our country, our people are accustomed with this particular diseases. They have immunity towards those microorganisms or any kind of allergens. So, but if these things are traveling to some other country, then they may not have that immunity or resistance power to tackle. That's why cross border this shipment or trade is they are following very stringent protocols, right? That's why manufactured at which location, that is also very much important. Instructions for use and storage, right? This information, sometimes we see lot of other informations on the packaging material, apart from the nutrition labeling and then ingredients, and then some other information also possible. You can see this kind of allergy advice information, this kind of image you see, and especially what kind of packaging it is being used. Number one is polyethylene terephthalate, okay, HDPE, and then PVC. Number three means PVC. Like that, you can see different numbers in the bottom of the packaging material. Am I right? So this information also we need to know for which food material, which packaging is the suitable packaging material. We need to identify, right? PVC may be suitable for some kind of food material. LDPE is suitable for some food material. Okay, based on the properties of the packaging material, we need to select those packaging material for the different kinds of food applications. Sometimes you also see this symbol, right? Microwave safe symbol. And then you can also see this kind of freezer safe. Okay, these are some of the symbols you see here in the, this is the Amul butter. You can see any difference. You can see FSSA number here. You can see vegetarian, non-vegetarian logo here. And then you can see this is important when stored at refrigerated at 404 degrees or below, best before 12 months from packaging. And they have a condition when stored refrigerated at 4 degrees or below, right? This kind of information we need to get accurately in order to handle the food safely. Okay, sometimes we see, okay, 4 degrees Celsius, we'll just keep it under 4 degrees Celsius, you forget. But they have given entire complete sentence here, 12 months from packaging when stored refrigerated. If you are opening again, the shelf life will be reduced. How you are keeping the sample, that is also important. If you are keeping as such, then 12 months without any spoilage, you can keep your sample at refrigerated temperature. That is the meaning, right? See here in this particular juice, real juice, you can see there is an instruction called shake well before use. Okay, we need to read. If you purchase this particular product, you need to shake it, mix it properly and then consume. Otherwise, sedimentation will happen in the food material. The clear juice will be on the top. And then do not buy if the pack is puffed. If the pack is puffed means what? Some kind of microbial contamination already happened. Okay, anaerobic bacteria is growing. It is producing some kind of gases. Because of the gas, the puffing is happening, which is not at all recommended for consumption, right? This information we need to see. At least, I hope, today 130 people are attending this particular session. I request each one of you to be aware of, what type of ingredients and what allergen information. Please read the label properly. Okay. Whenever you go to supermarket, you make the informed decision, right? You take the informed decision by reading the labeling properly. Reading the food label is at more, it's very much important. You don't just go by the brand name. Read the ingredient. According to your wish, you select the product. If you like it, you keep on purchasing that particular product again and again. Otherwise, you can change it, right? Based on your needs, you can do it. But please read the labeling. Labeling for nutraceuticals and health supplements. You can see for nutraceuticals and health supplement category is different, right? FSSAI, they have given separate instructions for this particular category. It is not 2000 level regulations or amendments, right? It is 2016 regulations. Separate regulations are being framed for nutraceuticals and supplements, right? And then they made some amendments in the year 2022. Mandatory nutrient declaration, safety disclaimer, and RDA percentage. These three things are mandatory when it comes to nutraceuticals and health. See, suppose for example, this is a functional food, nutraceutical, ultra omega 3, this capsules or whatever it may be. They have given the supplement facts. Supplement facts means calories they have given, how much fat, what are different, the breakdown they have given, omega 3, how much. Okay, EPA and DHA they have given, docosahexaenoic acid, eicosapentaenoic acid. Okay, they are the, they are coming under omega 3 fatty acids, right? And then they give some information about the ingredients. Okay, what type of, glycerin they used, gelatin they used. Gelatin is derived from the animal source, right? If you are vegan, then you cannot, you don't feel like consuming this particular product. Why? Because this it has a gelatin, and you need to know whether this gelatin is from the vegetarian source. Some vegetarian source gelatin is also available in the market. Okay. See here, they gave say 180 soft gels. Okay. And then they give barcode information for the manufacturing detail. They're given functional description. If you consume this particular product, what are the functional benefits you will get, and then qualified health claims. This is very much important. Health claim, proven health benefits. So like this, if you are dealing with any kind of nutraceutical health supplements, you need to have, see, most of the regulations are taken from the Codex Alimentarius. Almost whatever we are following under the purview of FSSAI regulations, these things are followed, taken up from the Codex Alimentarius. Claims, here it's very important. Claim on front of pack labeling. This is important. Front of pack labeling means in some products you see this information, right? What are these information? Health for heart, and then it has zero fat, and then it has a lot of protein, zero fat again. Okay, protein rich, and then fiber rich. This one is vegan chicken, whatever. You get so many claims, right? Nutritional claims highlighting nutritional content, low or fat. This information is also very much important. Say, suppose, for example, if you see this particular pack, see here, what is written here, this particular sesame seeds, high in healthy fat, support heart health and cholesterol balance. This is, not proved by that particular industry, but if you consume, it's a overall, health claim, right? If they have very good products without any adulteration, they can claim this kind of information also you can give in your products. That is called, this information where you need to give. You should not give it in the backside of the packaging material. This is, coming under the front of pack labeling. So only front side you have to give. Okay, not on the back side or side, in the sides or maybe in the bottom. You should not give. You should give in the front. The other, this one, pumpkin seeds, what they have given: rich in magnesium, excellent source of healthy fats, high in zinc, okay, loaded with antioxidants. These are very, superficial and very broad category. Well, definitely, if you have antioxidants in your food, it fights inflammation. Okay, free radical, growing will be stopped. So all these things are okay with, this particular packaging claims, right? Health claims you can link to health benefits, supports heart health, must be substituted with scientific evidence. All these things are okay for FSSA. Okay, type of nutritional claims. Okay, what do you mean by this? When you are claiming something, when you say low fat food, then this is the specification. Your product should have less than or equal to 3 grams per 100 grams of fat. This is the FSSA limit, right? Sugar free. When do you say your food has the sugar free? When you have less than 0.5 grams. This is the FSSA standard given by, and then high fiber. When do you say? When your product has greater than or equal to 6 gram per 100. It should be validated analytically. Okay, this particular program, particular course is based on the analytical, food analytic, right? This is how the packaging also linked with analytical. Whatever claim you give here, it should be analytically validated, right? So these are the information that you need to, as a manufacturer, as a, a person working in food industry or as a food technologist, we should know. If you are purchasing low fat product, again, this is the thing. A lot of brands, they sell their products high protein, high fiber products. But unfortunately, if you see the fiber, it is less than 6 grams. That is not considered as a fiber at all, right? So, and recently you can see here, National Institute of Nutrition and FSSA prepare model posters for daily limits on oil and sugar consumption. Okay, in we Indians, we fond of eating roti, chapati, rice, and then high carb foods. Around, if you see, average person in a day, they consume around 65% of carbohydrates. Okay, this is high compared to other countries. So the FSSA and other regulatory bodies, what they are saying, nutrition, NIN, they are asking us to cut down at least 2% of carbohydrate. 63, 62, 63 is okay. Okay, so these kind of things are also evolving, and with time, what will happen? They will start saying, okay, this product is rich in fat rich product, like that also possible. Just like on the tobacco packets, cancer, the causing, some claims will be given, right? Similarly, for food items also, they will start implementing these things. Okay, if you smoke, then it will lead to cancer. Similarly, here also, if you have a lot of fatty foods, you will have cholesterol, maybe heart disease. That kind of claims are possible in the future. Not if it is not available now, but in the future it may be possible, right? To create awareness among the people. Okay, wider perspective. Notification and regulations, every time these regulations will be changing, they will be revised, okay, with respect to time. Okay, this, and that's why you need to go through the latest updates and amendments given by FSSA every time they update in their website. Front of pack labeling, FOPL. Front of pack labeling means, see here, I don't know how many of you are aware of this one, health star ratings. Just like the electronic items you have at your home, it has star ratings, right? Electronic usage star ratings. Similarly, we have it will be there in the market very soon. Health star ratings will be emerging, right, in the market. So what do you mean by health star rating? If you have a less fat and then more protein, more fiber, less sugar. then it is called as the health star rating. FSSA draft regulations in the year 2022, star rating systems for health star ratings, they have given. It will be implemented very soon. Simplifies consumer understanding about nutritional quality, right? So on the product, you can see star ratings like this. If it is a green star, 4.5, then it has a lot of fiber, protein, less sugar, less fat, like that. Okay. This is the new concept. Nutritional profile modeling, NPM, is also very much important. What is nutritional profile model? Okay, categorize food based on the sugar, salt, and fat content. Okay, this particular model, it categorizes the food based on the sugar, used to regulate claims and marketing for high fat, sugar, salt. HFSS means high fat, sugar, salt foods. This is the talk of the this is the very important topic. Okay, you can see here nutrition level pulses. Normally, how much nutrients are there in calories. In rural, how much people are consuming, 35 percentage, and then 49, okay, calories. Normally urban population, they consume more calories. Milk, urban population, they consume more milk. You see, in each and every category, urban population is dominating, right? That's why diseases are more in the urban areas. Hospitals are more in the urban areas. People often go to hospitals in the urban areas. Normally, they have, rural population, they have everything in moderate. They don't consume everything, too much, right? So that is the thing we need to see. Whatever food you consume it in moderation. If you have more, then there is a problem, right? So you take care of this one. High fat, sugar, salt foods. This is the basic model developed by Mulligan at 2000 in the year 2021. He categorized products, including foods and beverages, and then if the processed foods are prepared foods and beverages that contribute to excess sodium, sugar, then not in line with the nutritional modeling. Okay, then you can see how many different types of foods included: grain based, and then dairy products, and the all other products are here, right? Grain based, whole grains, it has a lot of this HFSS, then not in line. So like this, a model has been generated. Okay, this is the thing. If you are here, then you say you have less fat, less sugar products, right? The model was developed in the year 2021. Excessive in sugar, sodium, or saturated fat. Yes means not in line. No means you can consume. Okay, this is the basic idea of the NPM. Misleading claims and penalties. What is misleading claims? When you purchase any kind of processed food, if they say natural flavors, but if it does not have any natural flavor, then they made a false claim, right? 100% juice means it should have 100% juice without any additives, preservatives, nothing. Okay, these are some of the false and the false claims. It comes under the purview of FSA 2006. 100% natural juice used for synthetic flavored drinks. Okay, this kind of information also very much important. This is about the FSSA labeling claims. The next is Codex Alimentarius labeling standards. Almost the standard regulations are same, because FSSA, they took all these regulations from the Codex Alimentarius. Okay, who is Codex? They are the joint venture. It's not a venture. It's a body formed after collaboration between FAO and WHO. Okay, food standard programs sets international references for food safety and quality, right? Recently we observed World Food Day. World Food Day. Okay,
Um, I
request participants to mute your mic. Recently we observed World Food Day, right? 2021 October 16. Okay, so basically what they say is, safe food consumption and food for all. This is the motto, right? So safe food for all means they have to give some kind of guidelines where safe food will be accessible to each one of the person in the entire globe, right? This particular Codex Alimentarius Commission adopted by more than 180 countries. To be specific, 188 countries have adopted this particular standards, right? Codex text are recommendations for governments to protect the health of consumers and ensure fair practices in the food trade. Okay, when it comes to trade, codex regulations are very much important. You can see Codex General Standard for Labeling CXG 1 1985. They have given in the year this 1985, they have given general standards for the labeling, right? If you can go through this particular thing, global guideline for prepacked foods provide harmonized labeling requirements. See here, I will just quickly take you to this particular website. Let us see what are the specifications, what are the different amendments they have given. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. What you can see here in the Codex Alimentarius, they have clearly mentioned this is the website. Can you see the website of the Codex Alimentarius? I have just opened.
No, sir, still in the PPT.
Okay. Then I have to stop sharing. What about now?
Yes, sir, now the website is visible.
Okay. See here, Codex Alimentarius, International Food Standards, right? So here they have given this. It's the motto of the Codex Alimentarius. What they does. Okay, you can see so much of information with respect to animal feed, contaminants, nutrition labeling. Okay, you can see one by one here in the CXG. These are popular guidelines. CXG 1985 guideline on nutritional labeling. They have given. If you press this one, it will take you to the guideline. This is a 16 page amendment. It is adopted in the 1985, revised in 93, 2011 till 2014, 2024 they have revised it, right? So what exactly this particular nutrition labeling says, they gave the scope, right? These guidelines recommend procedures for nutrition labeling only. For each and every aspect, they have this kind of 20-30 page PDF. You can go through whenever you get a time. Nutritional declaration, they have given application of nutritional declaration, and then listing of nutrition, how you need to list the nutrition, energy values, amount of protein, all these things. You can see they have given each and every point, right? Calculation of energy, how do you calculate the energy? Carbohydrate 4 kilocalorie per gram, protein, fat, like that. Each and every information is given, right? So you can go through this particular website. When I share these slides, you can click on to the link and you can go through this particular website. Okay, and amendments also, you can go through so many standards, guidelines. You can see, if you can mention, you get a number of PDFs. Okay, so you can search here if you are looking for labeling. See, guidelines on nutrition labeling, 2024 amendment. Guidelines for the production, process, labeling and marketing of organically produced foods. If you want to deal with organic foods, 2013. Guidelines on use of technology for food information in food labeling, 2024. You can press and you can have the access to all these PDFs, right? Okay. Just I have given links here. You can go through those links. Mandatory labeling information, food labeling checklist. Checklist is very much important, right? In the industry, this auditing team or maybe internal auditors, they follow the checklist, right? So if you are having checklist, then easily you can identify the problems, right? So product name and lot identification is possible. Name and address of the manufacturer, ingredient list and allergen declaration. All these things, these are some of the mandatory things you can write down. Okay, if you have manufacturing firm, if you are procuring different materials from different vendors, you can have this particular checklist. Primary and secondary packaging, what is the information on the label, what are your comments, product name you can give, what are your comments, like that you can have different set of food labeling names, requirements are there. Accordingly, you can give your comments. See here, nutrition labeling codex. Okay, in this particular brand, you can see maple flavored syrup. Okay, maple flavored syrup, rich maple taste, sugar free, no artificial sugar. If when you read the labeling, you can see in the ingredients water, sorbitol, vegetable, gum, natural flavors, preservative, everything is there except maples, right? This maple syrup itself is not available. So 0% maple syrup means what? It's a misleading product. Like this, on front of the packaging, you will get some information. In the back side, you will get some information. Then it is called as a misleading, right? Codex guidelines on claims must not mislead or imply medical prevention or cure. Should not mislead. Claim must be truthful, and national authority approval is required. Approval is required. Then food allergen and additive labeling under codex. You see, E numbers are very much important when it comes to additives, right? Both are same, FSSA and Codex Alimentarius, INS numbering system used in the food additives. Then country of origin and traceability. I discussed this one. What is country of origin, from where the food is being procured? Those information is also very much required for transparency in international trade. Okay, if you want to export, paneer or any kind of milk products or any kind of food products per se, you need to follow that particular, where you are exporting, that particular country guidelines you need to follow. Supports recall and prevents fraud. Okay, see here, you can see in each and every, this is the supply chain, right? In the supply chain, the traceability is very important. In any of the links, in any of the links, the traceability is is questionable. Suppose here something goes wrong, then the entire chain will be broken, right? In the producer, you can see farm practices, cultivation process, all these, weather condition, everything and comes under the producer. If he is following all these things perfectly, then it can go to the forward. Okay, that is called as the forward traceability. Next, in the segment, in the processing, what are the protocols are being followed in the factory, and what is happening. Okay, how much lot is coming in, how much lot is going out, and what are the storage conditions. All these things you can trace it easily. When you have a proper documentation, you can trace it easily, right? What is the comparison, main comparison between Codex Alimentarius and FSSA? Both are almost same, but their scope is different. FSSA in India, Codex is in global, right? Additives, you can use E numbering system, INS numbering system, both are fine. Nutritional facts are mandatory, it is recommended. Okay, front of the packaging, star ratings are being drafted, guidelines already there, right? So these are the main difference between both are regulatory bodies. One works globally, one works in our country. Compliance auditing, audit form, HACCP audit form looks like this. Internal labeling review before launch, third party audit for export products, random sampling by some of the authorities. Okay, in the industry or maybe in FSSAI. Okay, audits are very much important. Compliance auditing is very much important. Okay, some small case study I have given here, natural fruit juice claim, right? So brand fine for labeling reconstituted juice as fresh. As in the previous example we saw, there is no maple in the maple syrup product, right? So similarly, there's some brand, I don't want to name any this one brand, juice company, they banned, right? Fine for labeling reconstituted juice as fresh. Reconstituted juice, they added preservatives, they took synthetic colors, all these things are there, but still they made claim as a fresh. Then that is misleading, right? Misleading comes under the FSSA 24 section 1. So there are different sections are there. Based on our requirement, we can see. We do not know each and every section, right? Based on our requirement, you can see everything is available in the FSSA website. Penalty was made, and product recall enforcement was done. Similarly, non-declaration of allergens. Non-declaration, best example is the chili or maybe the spice powders. Okay, they add so many allergens and they don't declare it on the labels. Okay, FSSA has 6,500 kg of adulterated ghee. So recently FSSA says stop eating paneer because of adulteration. Okay, chili powder is being adulterated, a lot of spices are being adulterated. Export rejection due to non-compliance. Compliance is very much important. If you are non-complying with the regulation, then rejection will happen. Okay, export consignment will get rejected. In this, especially in the European Union border checkpoints, each and every parameter is checked. Okay, so that's why we need to follow things properly. Label validation process. You need to validate the label. You have a barcode or nutritional panel verification, graphic layout, all this information you have to validate. Okay. Analytical data, laboratory data backs the nutritional claims. That is the main thing, right? You need to claim 40% protein means you need to validate and claim that this product has 40% protein. Challenges. What are the challenges? Frequent regulatory updates. This is the main challenge. Every time they change, they update the regulations. That's why you need to go through their website. Label space limitations, small manufacturers, lack of awareness. Okay. Digitalization is the new trend. Using QR barcodes, blockchain traceability system is also coming, especially in the seafoods. This blockchain traceability is being used. Prawn, fishes, and all. Future directions, global harmonization of front of packaging label standards, something like energy, nutritional star ratings, AI based compliances, real time consumer transparency tools are also coming to the picture. What are the key takeaways from this lecture? Labeling ensures safety, transparency, and trade compliances. You learned FSSA is the governing body in our country, Codex is the governing body globally. Continuous label market monitoring ensures consumer trust. Right. With this, I will stop my presentation. If there are any doubts, the session is open for the discussion now.
Thank you, sir. So the participants are requested to ask any queries through this question and answer chat box, or you can go through the WhatsApp channel also. Sir will be answering your queries.
Okay, fine. Without wasting time, I think there is no question. We can proceed with the next, speaker. I'll be taking the questions in the WhatsApp also. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So moving to the second lecture of our day on rapid and non-destructive methods for food quality assessment by Arun Prasad Venugopal, sir. The screen is yours, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Devadarshan. Just give me a minute.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
share the screen. Yeah, I hope the slides is visible now.
Yes, sir. Your slides are visible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Without wasting much of the time, we'll get into the lecture. So today we'll be discussing about some concepts about rapid and non-destructive quality estimation techniques. So non-destructive quality evaluation A food is used techniques that assess the quality of the food product without altering or damaging it. So this particular non-destructive quality evaluation is gaining much importance in recent days because of automation in food industries. When you are processing a food in a continuous automated line in an industry, there is a need to assess the quality under each and every step without disturbing the nature of the product. For example, if you are processing coconut or if you are processing fruit for pulping, without damaging the fruit, it is necessary to examine the internal quality of the food. So in a continuous pulping equipment, in a batch of 1 ton of mango, if few mangoes are spoiled, it spoils the quality of entire batch. So to avoid quality deterioration because of one particular spoiled fruit in a line, we need to assess the internal quality before getting into the processing line. So this non-destructive quality estimation techniques allow us to predict the internal quality of a particular commodity without altering or damaging or disturbing the entire process. So it provides both quantity and qualitative data, either physical, chemical, or structural properties such as texture, moisture content, ripeness. So detecting the mango based on the ripeness, detecting the mango or segregating the mango based on the color. So all those things comes under non-destructive technique. This non-destructive quality evaluation techniques use machine vision or image processing spectroscopy technique to assess the quality of the commodity rapidly. So these are some of the example of non-destructive method used for textural analysis. Like we can go for acoustic data, like when you pass an ultrasound over a food material, and based on the absorption of ultrasound by the food material, we can evaluate the structural quality. Ultrasound technique, NMR spectroscopy, exotopography, and hyperspectral imaging. X-ray topography and hyperspectral imaging are much advanced technique where it can predict the internal quality as well as the temperature change or the damage in the cell structure. So all those things are possible with the non-destructive quality assessment technique. Just give it. Yeah. So limitation of traditional method. So traditionally, to evaluate the quality of the food materials, we take samples out of a batch or a continuous process, and we go for sample preparation by cutting the fruits or taking juice from the fruit. But in case of non-destructive technique, there is no need to disturb the food materials. It can enter into the process. If it is fine, then it can be entered into the product, or if there is any damages or quality changes detected, and it can be segregated from the process. So higher requirement of time in case of traditional, we have to go for sampling and we have to wait till the results come. And then it is not possible to evaluate each and every unit of a processing raw material. So we go for sampling. So representative sampling and go for a technique. There are chances of error during traditional quality estimation technique. And that gives a lot of economic loss and time. So measure quality in batches. We have to wait for the results and we have to process the product. Determination only for one or few portion of a material is possible. These are the disadvantages of traditional technique. So all these disadvantages can be overcome by this non-destructive quality assessment technique. And used for internal quality assessment of all items, assessment is faster, user-friendly and cheaper, more accurate than laboratory techniques, and we have increased product safety and reliability during the operation, enhance the reputation of the manufacturer as a producer of good quality commodity, boost sales of the product, and provide economic benefit for manufacturers. application of non-destructive technique in food industry, especially in case of testing the quality of raw materials. So we have control over uniform quality of providing a uniform quality of raw material into the process. So reduce quality changes, product losses, and in process during online processing. So it is possible to measure the quality of the commodity or quality of the product under each and every unit operation, before and after every unit operations. Analysis of intermediate or final product. So, for example, if a fruit is passing into a pulping line, we can measure the damaged fruit, or we can remove the damaged fruit then and there. And after pulping, we can measure the quality of the pulp. Is it reaching the required parameters? So, screening a large number of sample at a time, and then the product development and storage testing. So after completing the product also, we can test the quality of the product without damaging the product. For example, to measure the pressure inside the canned food material, or to measure the sterilization operation, or to measure the proper filling of aseptic packaging, or proper sealing of canning, we go for pressure test, or we take sample out of the can and damage the can to test the quality. But in case of non-destructive technique, we can use X-ray imaging or hyperspectral imaging to detect any changes in the canning or seaming, all those things. So in today's lecture, we'll be discussing some of the major aspects about non-destructive method to evaluate the quality characters of agriculture product. The methodology we can categorize into 3-4 types. So like one is based on the optical properties of the commodities, image analysis and spectroscopy or NIR spectroscopy to measure the size and shape and the outer quality characters, and X-ray. So X-ray imaging or CT imaging is a technique which is used to evaluate the internal cavity structure of the commodity and mechanics, and then we can go for sound based, ultrasound or acoustic based evaluation techniques, and then we have electromagnetic radiation based non-destructive evaluation techniques, NMR, MIR, MRI, and NMR. Maybe mostly it is useful in case of detecting the moisture content and sugar level inside the foods. Chemical analysis based on the aromatic component or based on the flavonoids. We have enos and e-tongue. First, we will see imaging. So image analysis techniques provide a spectral information from electromagnetic spectrum. So we have discussed spectroscopy techniques in our last class. Similarly, image analysis, like when you take a picture of an image, and if you're able to separate the color in different spectrum, and we can determine the quality characters of the commodity based on the color, and we can correlate with the internal quality characters as well. So either it is the gray scale or red scale, green scale. By dividing this values and color values, we can estimate the quality characters. And then this hyperspectral imaging system, difference in chemical composition and inherent physical structure based on the absorption of electromagnetic radiations. This is a kind of spectroscopy technique we can go for when you are passing a light over a substance or a food materials. Partially certain wavelength of the light is absorbed, and partially certain wavelength of the light is reflected back. By measuring the wavelength that is reflected, we can get a spectral graph or spectral fingerprint of a product. So based on that information, we can evaluate. Sorry. Hyperspectral imaging acquires over a visible or near infrared wavelength. It gives a combination of imaging that is produced in different layers. So in case of a spectroscopy technique, we go for imaging the surface, like based on the light scattering effect of surface, we measure the quality characters. When in case of hyperspectral imaging, it gives a layer by layer, the values layer by layer. So this values helps us in enhancing the internal quality or detecting the internal quality of the food products as well. So this is an example which gives a spectral signature of a components in a pizza. So this character is called spectral signature or a spectral fingerprint of a sample. So we can go, this is an image at 150 nanometers. In spectro, either we go for a particular wavelength by creating a monochromatic light. So we have discussed about um, graters and this monochromator, which segregate and separate a particular wavelength from a visible spectrum or an infrared spectrum. But in case of hyperspectral imaging, it gives value for each and every nanometers. Sorry, every wavelength. So this is an image at 950 nanometers. This is an image at 120, 1280 nanometers. And this is the image at 1550, that is 1550 nanometers. So this wavelength, the image which is produced, or the spectral graph which is produced from different wavelengths are categorized, are compared, and we can see what is the effect on different composition. So it has, the pizza has cheese, onion, bread, and meat, right? So all those compositions will, all those different composition of the commodity or the sample will absorb different wavelength. So it gives a complicated and a comparison between the different components, and we can quantify the component, or we can detect the quality of the various substances present in a complex food materials. So this similar spectral pattern will indicate similarity in the chemical composition. Different concentration of major chemical composition make a difference in reflectance and absorbance values. So using this, we can predict whatever, like we can quantify the particular component, or we can measure the quality characters of the different components present in the food samples. In the acquisition of hyperspectral image, like you can see hyper cube constructed in two ways. One is the spectral image field of fixed and restricted light throughput, obtaining an image of wavelengths from another sequence. So this is when you're passing a light in a particular direction, it gives us layers of images, and comparing all those things, we can get a spectral image. So these are the components in hyperspectral imaging system. So we need a light source. So either there's illumination by acquisition. First, we need a light source, and then the light incident over the sample, and then we have a lens, and we have a imaging spectrograph and camera to capture the image, and we process all these things. We get a clear spectral fingerprint of the sample. So hyperspectral image, after obtaining this image, the image has to be calibrated, and then the spatial and spectral processing and classification of the spectral imaging based on the regression equations, and then the image is processed into data, numerical data. So application of this hyperspectral in food industries, we have like it has a wide application in analyzing the components present in the complex food substances. Food surfacing inspection, automated poultry meat inspections, automated even in mango, in coconut processing. All these things have a wider applications, and moisture distribution in the baked product. So after baking process, if there is an accumulation of moisture in the particular region of baked product, there are chances of mold growth. So to avoid and to have a uniform moisture distribution, to ensure the uniform moisture distribution, this hyperspectral imaging techniques are used. And even the distribution of sugar content over larger fruits can also be analyzed. And the analysis of chocolate composition, detection of bruise damage in case of fresh commodities, fat distribution in a product. So all those things, a distribution of different composition of the food, composition of a particular component in the complex food matrix can be achieved. So this is the graph which is obtained from a hyperspectral imaging, which shows the moisture distribution in the bread. You can see the inner portion is rich in moisture content, like almost 45 to 45% moisture content, whereas the surface of the bread has lower moisture content, 10% or 15%. So this is analysis of chocolate bar. Now we are getting chocolates with different composition, that's fat portion, even a crispy wafer portion inside the chocolate bars. So these kinds of chocolates and the distribution of different components like fat, crystalline, sucrose, or it may be some caramel portion, or it may be the moisture in the chocolate, or it may be a caramel filled chocolate, and it may be a nut filled portion. So this imaging gives us a clear idea what are the different layers present in a product and what is the composition of the particular layer in the product. And this is a image which shows the sugar distribution using the absorption spectra at the absorbance at 676 nanometers will clearly show the water distribution and then the sugar distribution in a melon. So this is the cross section of the melon. You can see we are examining the cross section area and we are comparing the sugar content. Even without damaging the fruit, even without cutting the fruit, we can able to see the ripeness or the sugar concentration distributed inside the melon. So unripe fruit, you can see a green color pattern which shows there is no conversion of starch to sugar. So during the ripening process, when the starch is converted into simple sugars, we can able to detect the compositional changes using a hyperspectral imaging in a continuous process. Not only in case of mango, in case of in case of melon, in case of watermelon, we can see whether it is ripened or whether it is ready for a processing or consumption can be detected without destructing the commodity. So in other industrial applications like dairy industry or confectionery, it is used to measure the composition, various composition of the product, and again the textural difference in the case of coagulated milk or coagulated cheese or in a protein, coagulated protein can be used in case of dairy industries. So this is the sample, this is the examination of imaging of cheese samples. So high moisture, low moisture, and then the heterogeneous samples. Like you can see when you are examining the different types of cheese, and we can easily source the moisture distribution and distribution of the other substances, like apart from the protein, what are the other components distributed in the cheese, all those things can be examined very easily with the help of high perspective imaging. Even in case of powder, we can able to detect various component. Determination of melanin content in milk powder, moisture distribution in the milk powder. So all these things are very possible, and then the constitution, one of the various constitution present in the milk samples can be examined using this kind of hyperspectral imaging. And we have multispectral imaging system. So when you have a spectral band with more than 10, we go for hyperspectral. Less than 10 samples, we can go for a multispectral imaging. So the distribution of efficiency of MRI by detecting the foreign materials present in the powder by incorporating the peanut powder. So we can examine the quality and compositional distribution in the particular samples using hyperspectral and multispectral imaging. So this is the absorbance spectra of wheat and peanut flour. So the average absorption spectra of reflectance samples of a pure peanut and wheat flour. So when you have a mixture of composition like wheat flour and then the peanut powder, the samples adulterated with wheat flour along with the peanut powder can be detected. So based on the absorbance of different wavelengths, the compositional changes or the mixture of composition can be detected. So we can see the distribution absorption pattern of peanut flour and the absorption pattern of flour, which are varying in the imaging. So based on this estimation of the quality and the level of the percentage of adulteration, the level of adulteration percent of the material can also be predicted. The precision of multispectral system to detect the peanut flour, you can see when your the predicted value and the actual value of it exactly matches. So by predicting by an imaging technique, we can show what is the quantity of adulteration present in the particular food materials. So, and then the next technique is our spectroscopy. So spectroscopy we have discussed a lot in our previous lectures, and we have also discussed some practical aspects about this new spectroscopy, and then this NIR, near infrared spectroscopy technique. So based on the near infrared light, when we are passing it, it can so the same slide I think we have discussed in our previous class. When it is incident over the surface of the samples, certain portion of this infrared light is absorbed, and then certain portion is transmitted through the samples, and certain portion is reflected back. By measuring the changes during absorption and the transmittance, we can take a spectral graph from by analyzing the spectral graph, we can go for examination of the chemical composition, and then it can also reveal some microstructural changes in the samples, and it can also give information about the quantity and quality of the composition present in the food materials. So this is an example. We can see penetration power of NIR. We can see the skin and a homogeneous pulp. So restriction of fruit with the homogenization and pulping the thin skin. The titratable acidity and then the sugar level in the product can be obtained before making into a pulp. That is also possible here. So in a spectrometer measuring the food materials, you can see the light which is absorbed, and then the same mechanism which we discussed. So from full transmitter measuring system, and then half transmittance measuring systems, and we have reflectance measuring system. So with any kind of this, any one of these MAS spectroscopy technique, we make particular spectral information of an orange or a citrus fruit. So we will be matching the spectral image, or we have to calibrate, or we have to train the spectral this NIR equipment with the spectral library by creating a spectral library. So initially we have to do a chemical analysis or laboratory analysis, and we have to match this particular spectral graph as this particular have to cast this much of soluble sugar concentration. So this is the TSS level of this spectral graph. So when you are feeding initially, then when you are determining the TSS and matching with the particular spectral graph, later when you are giving after training the algorithm or after training the model, if just by placing a citrus fruit, it gives or it predicts the TSS level or reducing sugar content, all those things in from the spectral graph. That is the advantage of this NIR in case of non-destructive quality and machine techniques. So the results, the calibrated results of fructose and glucose in a kiwi fruit. So first we have to analyze this fructose and glucose of a kiwi fruit, and we have to take a spectral image, spectral graph, and we have to see this particular spectral graph as this much of fructose and glucose values. Then later when you are giving a spectral graph, this model will be the algorithm or the model will give you a predicted value. So the next thing is X-ray and computer topography technique. This is just an X-ray imaging or computer topography CT scanning technique. So this X-ray penetrates into the food product, and it gives an information about the structural arrangement of molecules, all those things. So with this this X-ray imaging techniques, the wavelength range from 0.1 to 10 nanometers with the corresponding energies of 0.1 to 12 kilowatt, and it has a lower penetration power. It penetrates into a small size of sample and detect the internal density changes and structural discontinuations caused by white space or a crack or a density variation of the product. So this can easily applicable, and this have a very good application in case of detecting a bruise damage or changes inside the food. So this is the X-ray images of features. We can see X-ray CT image, which shows the radial and longitudinal cross section of a peach. The fresh peach, you can see the fresh peach. There is no white space or structural changes inside. Whereas ripened for 1 week and ripened for 2 weeks, we can see the development of white space inside the near the seed region. So it shows whether the commodity is freshly harvested or ripened for 1 week or 2 weeks. So based on this, we can easily predict the shelf life of the commodity, especially in case of export marketing, this kind of X-ray imaging techniques to detect ripeness stage or presence of white space based on the structural changes inside the food can be measured without any damage to the food. Not only presence of white space, we can also detect impact and bruise damage in the commodity. In case of apple, you can see when you are going for an X-ray imaging, X-ray CT imaging, it shows a black color region at the bottom. It shows there is an impact or changes in the cellular structure due to some bruise damage or impact damage. You can see the image, X-ray imaging. So this kind of images can be processed, and when it is coupled with a mechanical grading system, the image based on the image values and based on the changes in the structural parameters, we can grade the foods easily. So the next thing is we have mechanical mechanics. We can use ultrasound to detect the internal quality characters. Like ultrasound is generated using a transducer containing a ceramic crystals, which excited by a short electrical pulse, having a several time cycle like a wave of ultrasound. When it is propagated and incident over a surface, a portion of the ultrasound is absorbed, and mostly the major portion of the ultrasound is reflected back. So the quality characters of the ultrasound, which is generated by the transducer and incident over the surface and reflected back, will give changes in the character of the sound wave. So based on the signal produced and ultrasound received, ultrasound signal produced and ultrasound signal received, so we can actually examine or we can actually estimate the quality characters, especially used to detect the reflection with changes in ripening stage, changes in the maturity stage, and firmness of the surface firmness or surface hardness of the fruits and vegetables. So it is also used to detect impurities present in bulk samples, like presence of foreign bodies in a canned food product, presence of impurities in case of fruits and vegetable surface can also be detected. Yeah, this ultrasonic inspection of cans. As I said, in the traditional method, as we discussed in the previous slides, in the traditional method, the only way to estimate the internal quality of the can is to open the can and examine the can, the composition of the can, or it may be the can seeming efficiency, or it may be the pressure inside this can or vacuum inside the can has to be measured by only by test drive. Whereas this ultrasonic inspection of can gives you a clear idea about presence of foreign materials or unwanted elements inside the can, as well as it can give you a clear idea about the pressure inside the can, as well as it shows presence of various chemical compositions. So there are three types of foreign bodies when deliberated or deliberately introduced into the can. And when you're going for ultrasound imaging, it detects exactly the metal or an aluminum or a rock or some other unwanted foreign bodies inside the can. So this is an example of ultrasonic wave generated and absorbed. You can see the control when you have a control ultrasound, like without any foreign bodies into the product, it gives a clear wave. Whereas in case of foreign body, metal elements, there is a disturbance in the ultrasound received back. And similarly with a stone or some other foreign bodies, we have a disturbance in the generated ultrasound incident over the can and received. So based on this disturbance in the ultrasound wave, we can detect the presence of foreign bodies inside the can. So ultrasound, which is having a simple components, we need an ultrasound generator and we need a receiver. So there is another way. Instead of generating an ultrasound, acoustic data can be collected, especially in case of our coconut or stone fruits. By tapping the fruit, we generate a unique sound. So by measuring the acoustic data, sound which is generated by tapping it in a particular frequency or with a particular force, the changes within the acoustic data can be correlated with the internal qualities, especially in case of detecting the thickness of flesh inside a coconut or thickness of pulp inside the stone fruits. All these things is possible in case of with the generated acoustic data and analyzing the acoustic data. Then the fourth mechanism or fourth method of non-destructive technique is electromagnetic or using electromagnetic radiations. We have a nuclear magnetic resonance NMR spectroscopy technique. So when a nuclei with a magnetic movement and like photon or electron, when it is incident over the surface, the internal magnetic field, it aligns along with the magnetic field direction, and then when the electromagnetic radiation incident over the surface, there will be changes in the electron level, in the electronic level of a molecule. Either it absorbs an electron or it eliminates an electron from an orbit. So based on the energy absorbed by the nuclei and the number of particular nuclei in the samples, so we can detect numbers such as number of photons present in the water or number of photons present in the oil. Based on this electrical energy or electronic energy, we can detect changes within the samples. So to find the desirable features like high speed sorting using NMR probe is possible. So when you are going for a sorting of foods or a detection of spoilage or detection of sorting of commodity based on the composition, this NMR techniques are very much useful. So results based on NMR, like especially in case of presence of bruised surface in fruits or pitting or water soaked fruits, can easily detected using this NMR techniques, like and graded effectively. So this classification of error at 4 different speeds and 4 different speeds of a cherry. So when we have 0 speed, the threshold level is 0.7. Hole pitted in the Z direction and in Y direction. So total, when you are allowing it in for NMR measurement and detection of the pitted fruits, with an error percentage of 1% error, it can able to detect it at 0 speed. 0 means the conveyor speed. Similarly, you can see 250 mm per second, it can detect the pitted in Z direction, it's 70% error, and pitted in Y direction, it gives with 1% error. So it is possible to fine tune the speed as well as the grading mechanism based on NMR results. And we have the last, we have a chemical based non-destructive techniques. So chemical based non-destructive techniques, we have two examples on the eNOS and the e-tunk. So this is the device that indicated to detect this and identify the specific, quantify the specific component from odor and flavor. Mostly the aromatic components which is generated from during a ripening process or from any kind of fruit, vegetables or processed food materials. So the sample is the aromatic component which is generated or produced from the fruits or vegetables or some foods which is present in the headspace of a sample voltage is injected into a detection system, where the detection system reacts with the presence of volatile component, which is undergoing a chemical changes and produce usable signals. So this quantity of aromatic component, particular aromatic component, which is detected, will be taken to a library where data about the data about various volatile components are existing. So it compares the data with the existing data. It gives you what kind of aromatic component is produced and what is the quantity of aromatic components present in the headspace. So it is similar to that of our sensory biological olfactory system. So when you smell a particular aromatic component, the olfactory receptors receive the component and send the signals to the brain, and it detects what kind of flavor or what kind of aroma it is. Similarly, eNOS as a sensory array where various aromatic component, the data about very aromatic components are existing. So it compares the aromatic component which is sensed and it quantifies what type of aromatic component is produced and what is the quantity of aromatic component present in the particular foods or vegetables or a processed food in a headspace. So it is similar to that of our biological system. We can able to detect what kind of aromatic component presents based on the array-based system. So this is a sample. You can see it has a sensor and a receptor where the component, aromatic component, get binded, and the sensory array detects what kind of aromatic component is binded with this, and then the raw data is sent for processing, and it gives the signals, electrical signals, which shows what are the major components present in the particular sample, gaseous sample, or usually the gaseous sample is taken from a headspace where the product is stored for a certain period of time, allow us to produce or allow us the aromatic component to diffuse into the headspace. So precision using eNOS, so we can see the prediction precision using an aromatic component. So especially the meat product, the aroma which is generated out of the meat product, roasted beef or roasted lamb meat, it gives a electronic signal. It detects the aromatic component and shows difference in this aromatic component as an electrical signal. So this electronic PO system was successfully characterize or detect spoilers in the meat, like with 98.81% accuracy, it can detect the flavor, the off flavor produced during spoiling of meat. The next thing is e-tunk. This is also an array of sensor that are immersed in a liquid in order to identify the difference in physical chemical characters of the sample. So this electronic tunk, e-tunk, serve as a surface where the electrochemical redox reaction take place. the surface area should be very less, like with a few where the current is allowed to pass through. The current detects the reduction, electrochemical reduction changes occurs within the samples, and this electrical reduction reactions is converted into an electrical value using this electrodes, so which is converted into a digital value. So measure of working electrode potential, and then generating the electrical data out of a sample is the basic behind this E trunk. So we can see, so this is the sensor array, which is inserted inside the liquid sample. So there is a movable arm which dips this electrodes inside the samples, which pass a small voltage of current, and it detects the electrical changes, electrical impedance value of the samples, and thereby it converts into an electrical signals, which shows what kind of components or what kind of taste are present in it. When you compare with human sensory receptors, our taste bud, which receives the signals based on the solute component in the sounds in the mouth, and it gives a signal to the brain. Similarly, this electronic sensors, which is inserted as a electrode components, which passes a small voltage, and it detects the changes occurred in the voltage values, and the electronic fingerprint of a sample is taken, and it is correlated with an existing data, and it shows what kind of components present and what is the quantity of components present in this. So as a conclusion, rapid and non-destructive techniques enable us to detect quality characters in real time, which helps us in real-time monitoring of food quality and safety during the processing line, and preserves the sample integrity while reducing the waste and analysis time. So it avoids wastage of food, as well as it gives rapid data, which doesn't allow us to wait for a longer period of time. And then this kind of the technology such as NIR, high perspective imaging, and X-ray imaging, eNOS and eTens improve accuracy and automation. So it supports existing quality control methods in a supply chain system, and it enhances the consumer confidence and regulatory compliance through reliable assessment, and continued advancement in sensory and AI, ML, and data analytics will help us in expanding this non-destructive techniques. So based on the recent advancement in data analysis, by generating a data and analyzing the data in the right way, we can avoid error, and we can avoid quality changes, unwanted quality changes, and food safety issues during continuous and automation processes. So this non-destructive and rapid analysis techniques helps us in automating an industry without much human interventions and without any changes, like with reduced changes in quality character of the food materials and food safety aspects. So that's all from my side. Thank you for listening. If there is any doubt, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Participant, if there is any doubt, please ask sir. Otherwise, you can also inquire in the WhatsApp. Sir will be answering your queries.
Yeah, if you have any doubt, you can also type in the chat box so that it will be easy for us to go through your question and answer it.
I guess there are no questions, sir. We can wind up the session.
Okay, Divya, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, participants. you can contact me at any time. You can see my email ID and contact information are given in the slide. And if you have any doubts related to the lecture, as well as if you have any interest in collaborative research and all those things, so please contact. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir. So participant can leave for the lunch and we will reconvene at 2 p.m. for the another lecture series. Thank you.